Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Caffeine and Sensu Beans podcast. I am One Kick Man and I am joined by my co-host Chiween. Chiween, how are you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Uh, let's see. Uh, just been chilling, man. Working, getting back into the groove of things. Almost done with the school year.
Oh, that's right.
Uh, it was cool. Yesterday had kind of like a family day, and that was cool to do, man. I didn't really grow up with that the family day type of thing where we'd all
Yeah.
go out as a family and do something. But it was cool to do it, and it was kind of organically after our son's soccer practice, and
hmm
it was cool. It was cool.
You
But
shaved also? Shaved the beard off?
yeah, man, got a haircut, dude.
I
I had to do
know.
it. I took we took our passport pictures. Like we're thinking of possibly taking a trip in the
Okay.
summer once I'm in summer,
Oh, nice.
and had to take my passport picture, dude. It was just a wake up call. We're just like, all right, dog, it's time to cut this off, dude. It's time to cut
Dang.
this. It's time
Wait,
to cut a part of this beard off.
you shaved because of the passport picture, like because you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It wasn't
No,
like you
I
saw
took no.
yourself in the passport picture and you were like, "Oh, I got to shave that."
That's what happened.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened. No, I went to go take the picture first. A rookie mistake,
Okay.
and it looked horrible. So I was
Okay.
just like, okay, yeah, I look like I belonged like at a liquor store or something. Not good, dude. Not good. So
Hey, it looks good now
I always
though.
I get asked if I'm Arabic. A
Uh-huh.
lot. Like I get asked if I'm that
Yeah,
because I
I
think
can
because of
see
my
it.
facial hair.
Yeah.
But that picture definitely like yeah
Made you
okay.
look like you were for sure. Um that's cool, dude. Hopefully, with this whole COVID thing, you guys can plan a trip. Hopefully we're like I feel like we're getting there, things are getting better. Um but we still have to wait and see. Obviously, we're recording this in April, so we're not fully open yet, but hopefully soon enough we will be.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to take a trip to once the boys are a little bit older, we do want to go to Japan.
That's the
So
spot.
yeah, we want to go to Japan. I've always wanted to go there, and I
hmm
and I read that it's pretty good with babies or with kids. So
hmm
yeah, man, we're kind of just stacking up for that and make the make the trip go. So
Yeah. Um,
yeah, how
th-
are
th-
you?
I'm doing well. You know, getting back into the groove of things as well. I start work tomorrow, so looking
Wow, that was
for
fast, huh?
quick. Yeah, it went by so fast. I mean, my daughter just turned a month yesterday, so
Mm-hmm.
it goes by fast. And I have 12 weeks, but I can use them intermittently, like take my baby bonding time throughout the year, so I don't have to do it all at
Mm-hmm.
once. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm doing that. Hopefully, we're hoping that my fiance she gets 16 weeks, so she gets a little bit more, and we're hoping that next year we can go to Japan for her first for her 1 year birthday. So
Oh, cool. Maybe we
yeah,
might link up over there then, because
hey,
we're
if
planning to
you
go
want, if
next year.
okay, well, I mean, if you guys want to coordinate something, I mean, we're talking like
We're talking about
like we're
we're on the
on
phone.
FaceTime, yeah. But yeah, man, everything's going well. Just yeah, getting ready to get back into the groove of things. I don't know if I told you I got the vaccine. Um,
Oh, nice.
I got
Congrats. And they keep
yeah.
telling me that it's a congratulations. So,
Well, I
you
got the Johnson and
know.
Johnson one, which of course they
Oh, there
took
you go.
off. I don't know if it's a congrats, but nah, but yeah, it was cool. I didn't really, experience anything crazy, like any crazy side effects, just like chills or whatever, but nothing major. It hit my dad a little harder, but he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the vaccines are it's such a weird like rhetoric, like the so many people have like like conspiracy, and I'm not really a vaccine person myself. I don't
Me
really
neither.
believe in
I'm
them.
not gonna lie.
I'm not a big vaccine person, but it almost felt like, and maybe for our listeners too, once you get to a certain age and you have a family, like sometimes you
Yeah.
do have to make like an adult decision
Right.
that can impact other people's lives, whether you agree with it or you don't. And I found myself in that tough dilemma because I'm telling you, I rarely get the vaccines that they say we should. And I mean, I've survived, but at the same
Right.
time, I'm like, I don't know, dude. I'm about to go back to school. I'm about to go back to work with these kids. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can really believe the system that is going to take care of these kids and me. So I need to do something to protect myself.
Right. Yeah. I was kind of in the same boat. Like, I just felt like, man, everything was so rushed. I was like, how? I was like, give me at least more time before I make a decision. I just felt like, how can they get a fully functional and effective vaccine in such a short period of time? But once you have a family and you have a child, it's like you can't just think for yourself. I mean, obviously you can do whatever you want, but that's kind of how I was too. I was like, I have a daughter. I have to. It's not just about me, so I got it for her sake, and for those that are around me as well. But yeah, I mean, so far so good, you know.
Oh man, I got the 2 dose one. So
The
yeah, I was only just feeling tired.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
hit my mom a little harder.
Oh, she got it.
Yeah, she got them both, and
Mm.
she's been feeling it. She's feeling it so much right now that she's in Reno. So
That's one of her spots.
so
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
Um, well, I'm glad she got it, dude. I mean, more and more people are getting it, so that's cool. Um,
mm,
Everyone in my family, except for my sister, has gotten it. So yeah, folks getting it.
dope.
Um, all right, dude. Should we do it? Should we talk about the boy?
The boy, the one and only.
The only I mean, he's not the only mortal or not the only human in the series, but he certainly like he feels like out of all the humans, he's the strongest, right?
Yeah, he is.
We're
I mean,
obviously
that's a
talking about
fact.
Krillin. Yeah, not
Yeah,
opinion.
Mr.
Um,
Irrelevant.
he is irrelevant. That's very unfortunate. Uh,
Hmm.
how do you feel he was portrayed? Let's talk about the movies per se, and then maybe we can talk about the series. But like throughout the movies,
Hmm.
how did you? What did you feel about him, or how
Well,
did you feel about him?
so prior to this, journey that we embarked on, watching the movies, I for some reason remembered Krillin being a lot more involved, and maybe it's just because I have like the Namek saga like in my head, and I'm just like, okay, well, he was a pretty integral part in that one. He let the Goku, go into the next form, and he had his side role, with the androids and stuff, but like for some reason in my mind, I'm like he's like an integral part to this team, but these movies really just kind of shone the light on it that my boy's been irrelevant since day one of Dragon Ball Z. Like he's been like that first movie. What is it called? It's called Dead Zone. Yeah, Dead Zone. I thought he was going to play a big role there. Right at that point, we had seen a lot of films, so we kind of left the first ones to the last, and I was preparing myself for like my guy to have a big role, and I was wrong, dude. He was getting taken out by Rubble.
Yeah, dude, he was. That's
Man was
the
getting taken out by Rubble.
that was yeah. Yeah, no.
That was his nemesis in that
Yeah, that
movie.
was who he fought, right? And he got destroyed. Um I never
So-
I and to just add on to that, like I I never realized how much of the butt of the joke he was. Right?
mm,
Like
mhm.
um there wasn't and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't recall one scene in the movies that we watched where he was like his contributions were significant, where he stole, not even stole the show, but he was just an, like you said, an integral piece to a battle. Or I don't remember one scene that was memorable that he had, right?
Well,
I
I
don't
have
know.
one of my favorite scene of him was the one where he was dressed up as Piccolo. And I mean,
Yeah,
I think that I mean he you know that movie sucked complete ass.
it
But
did.
if you look back at that review that we did, I'm gonna say it again. That's probably my favorite part of the film. I mean, and
That
that's
says a
just
lot.
that says a lot about the film, but it also says something about him. And I'm thinking about why I like that scene. And I know that like yes, there are very few, if any, really. That's really the only scene I can think of where he actually played a major role or like played a
Hmm.
somewhat of a role. But I
Exactly.
think what worked in that scene was that he embraced the goofiness.
Yeah,
You know, he
exactly.
embraced the goofiness. He embraced the joke that he is the butt of the joke. He embraced that. You know, in other films he doesn't necessarily do that. He's not. He doesn't embrace the. He thinks that he's part of the plot. You know, he thinks he's part of the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably one of the most like ironic tragedies of all this is that my boys is getting tagged along like, come on, Krillin, you could be part of the team. You're part of the team. You know,
Y-
Goku's just egging them on, and it's like, dude, you don't need this man here.
yeah, exactly. Like he lives in a, like in delusion, right? Like when Goku says, like when Goku's talking to the squad, he thinks he's included, but he's just at the table, like, but no one's actually looking at him, but he thinks he's part of the team. Uh and to talk about that
He's like the
scene.
guy. He's like the guy in the suit. You know, like the guy in the suit. He's at the huddle of the team. They're going
Mhm.
over the play, but my boy's not even suited up. Right?
Yeah,
He's in his jeans. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like
Like
he's not gonna go into the game.
he's not getting any game time, but they keep him on for he's like the good locker room presence. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, like I feel as if
That's
Yajirobe
true.
has made a bigger impact during in this, and I wouldn't say in the series, but in the movies at least. I mean, he played his role perfectly. He knew what it was he had to do, and Krillin, like what, like you said, that scene where he saves Gohan and he it looks as if it's Piccolo and he's dressed up as Piccolo. I mean, it was a
Mm.
great scene because there's obviously a running joke that Piccolo, I mean, I don't remember. I mean, we watched about 30 movies. In at least 60% of them, when Piccolo was introduced, it was because he was saving Gohan. All right. So,
Yeah.
like, there's a running joke that like Piccolo saves Gohan all the time. So it was funny then. And then, of course, like, it's Krillin not taking himself too seriously. Um,
Mhm.
and it was charming. Like, it was a charming scene. But as far as like, I don't know where he stands, right? Like, is he he could fall off the roster, and I don't think
Mhm.
anyone, it wouldn't make a difference. Like no one would actually care, unfortunately. Which
I don't know about that
you
one.
don't know
I
about that?
think we
Okay,
care.
you
Yeah, I
think
think we
so?
care about Pick. I mean about Krillin. Yeah, I think we care about him. At least I
But
think. At least I care. I'll tell you that.
okay, but here's the thing, right? Like we watched the movie. I think the three best movies that we watched, and I mean, I already forgot the tier list, but it was the Broly movie,
You know,
the super. It was
Wrath
the
of the
Trunks,
Dragon
yep, and History of
and Wrath
Trunks,
of the Dragon.
right?
History of Trunks.
And in none of those did we talk about how much we wanted Krillin to be in this movie, right?
That's true.
Right. So like, but that's because, and here's for some context, when I first started watching Dragon Ball, Krillin was my favorite character. And it was because I saw him do the Destructo disc, and I thought that was the coolest move I had seen. And I still
It's
think
still
it's
a
one of
cool
the,
move.
it is. Yeah, I still
Yeah,
think it's one of the
it has a
coolest
cool
moves.
name.
It does. It's like, it's, but it's like he's never taken anyone out with it. Like, I don't know if it's so slow. I don't know what, but he's always powering it up And then it's so like, you think, man, this dude's about to unleash this thing. He
was about to
throws that
chop this
thing with
fool's head off.
venom. Yeah. It's like epic when he throws it, all to just miss. And then like Krillin never gets I mean, he's never done damage, right? So it's like I feel bad for my guy, because Krillin, he's a warrior, because he is like, he's got skill, he can fight, and like we said, he's the strongest human, but he's not a contributor. And so I think of someone that's a complete, like an oolong. That's a side character. He's definitely like a jokester. He is there for comedic relief. And I don't know, what do you think? You think that's what Krillin is meant to be? Like, because obviously not everyone can be a main character, but is that what his role?
I think what happened to Krillin, I mean, it's a tragedy of this anime, because this anime, the more and more we analyze it, the more and more we see that they have just forgotten so many beloved characters on its way to where it's at now.
Right.
And I mean, like you said, right? You mentioned in Dragon Ball, right? In Dragon Ball, he was relevant. Like he was keeping up with Goku, and he was doing his thing. You know, and it showed that he was a thing. And I think he gained a part of the, like, he gained the heart of some of the fans,
right? Some of the
right.
Yeah.
So then when they turned to Dragon Ball Z, I think they realized, well, like, well, Goku's about to just, he's about to expedite this power level.
Yeah.
He's about to grow to another power level. But people really like Krillin. So what are we going to do with him?
Right.
And they and the most effective that we saw in the anime in Dragon Ball Z, to me, in my opinion, was the Namek Saga, where they used him as like the main, like
the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, they kind of gave him a sacrificial lamb type of role, and it was emotional, and it led to Goku's transformation, right? And that's the way that I see Krillin should be used. He should be used as what Bulma is. Bulma, if you pay attention to Bulma's character, like in the anime and in the movies, her role is the guys are gonna get in trouble. I need to create the time machine. I need to create some sort of like technology that's going to allow the guys to go to the next level.
Right.
So they need to give Krillin, I think, to me, in my opinion, that is what Krillin should be, because he's not an oolong. I don't think he should. I don't think he. I mean, he's a funny character.
Him. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he's a funny character. He's in limbo. He's between that like oolong and Yajirobe. I would even put Master Roshi in there, and that's another character that could potentially be like Krillin, but he's in between that, and I think he's in between like Bulma and like I would possibly Piccolo.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
where they're kind of like they're still adding somewhat to the plot. It's minimal, but they allow the plot to move, right? Like if you look at Broly in the last film, they couldn't have gotten to Gogeta if Piccolo didn't show them how to do the dance, right? Like, and Piccolo played that role of like, okay, we're gonna move the plot forward,
right?
So Krillin, I think he needs to fall in that line, but it doesn't need to be like, I don't know where the hell he is. Oh, that's a long-winded answer, but I'm not sure as to what his purpose of his character is.
Well, exactly. Like, and if you look at the initial if we in the movies, his role is just absolutely like trivial. It's minimal. It's inconsequential. Like it is just absolutely innocuous, because I mean every scene besides that one scene where he saves Gohan. And the reason why that scene is memorable is because it was funny. But it had nothing to do with his actual fighting contribution. Like when they took him to the planet that Paragus was creating, I was like, why did they take this guy? They got Trunks, they got Gohan, right? They got Goku.
Yeah.
Like, all right. But they and I mean, let's be honest, all of them dudes turn into Super Saiyan. Krillin is gonna feel left out, bro. And he's gonna be out of his wits, and he's gonna realize very quickly he's in the deep end, and he's not gonna have anywhere to go. So they already put my boy in a bad predicament, because as soon as everyone turns Super Saiyan, he sees Broly getting huge. He doesn't know where to hide, right? So it's like
Yeah.
there was no reason for him to go there.
Yeah.
But in the movie, like in the movies, he doesn't really add anything to the actual, like, as far as his fighting contributions, which, like you said, maybe that's not
They've
what
kind of
he's
taken that away from him. You know, so
right,
they've kind of
exactly.
taken away the ability to fight. Like
Which
they
sucks, I
like
think.
it does suck because it reminds me of the Revenge of Cooler, I believe. And
Hmm.
in like when Cooler comes down and like the guys kind of disperse, like his henchmen.
Hmm.
I remember him and Oolong, like they're not even attempting to fight. Like they're just like,
Yeah.
we're gonna go hide in the caves.
And I can
You
understand
know?
Oolong doing that,
Yeah,
because
dude. But Krillin, dog, you know moves, dude.
yeah, you
Like you
do,
know the
dude.
doesn't he know the Kamehameha?
He
Like
does.
he
He
knows
knows the
that, right?
solar flare. Yeah. Like, you got some stuff
He
in your
knows.
arsenal.
It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
You know what
Like,
I'm saying? Like,
and like, that's the thing, right? Like, I don't know. He's just in such a strange place, because in the movies, it's for sure they make him look like it's. I can assume they're trying to make him be like a comedic type of character, but which is unfortunate, because he does. I feel like he could add to, especially in the earlier movies, he could add to the actual fighting. He can
yeah.
contribute. Um, but then if we get into the series, uh, he goes from, like, Namek was his peak, and I think when when post Namek, I honestly thought, like, once he died, the writers were like, "Yeah, no, right, that's it for him." Because when they brought him back, they didn't know what to do
Mhm.
with him, dude. So they were like, "We're just gonna cast him away, and he's gonna turn into like a husband. Nothing wrong with that, be start a family and all of that." Um, and he grows hair. Uh, like, he stops being a monk, I guess. Right, because like this whole time he was bald, and it's like, dude, you're not voluntarily bald unless you're a monk, which I guess he just stops. And then I don't know, it felt like just after the Namek saga, they just didn't know what to do with him, so they tried to make him a civilian. Let me show you this, dude. This is your guy right here. This
For
is
folks
you,
that are
right?
listening, I mean, we're not going to show this piece anyways, but
Yeah.
okay.
That's your
Okay.
man's right there, bro.
Okay. So what we're seeing right now is Krillin. It's Krillin.
In Dragon
It
Ball,
looks
the
like
action, yeah.
Dragon Ball. Okay. So he looks like he's
Menacing.
in
Look,
a monk. Yeah.
yeah, he
He
is.
looks like
He's
he's
in his
in a monk
right,
suit, right?
right. He is in his monk outfit, and he's uh very menacing picture. So uh as I was saying, like, they don't know what to do with him, right? Like, he just, or at the very least, like, they're not committed to him being a civilian. I was, dude, I read this quote that he had,
Mhm,
um or it's something he said during the Cell Saga, which I
mhm.
found so fitting. And this is what Krillin said. He said, "This is during the Cell Saga, all right? This is when you have goons at this point.
Yeah,
Did someone get the number of that bus?" My
yeah.
God. I've never felt anything so painful in my life. It's as if all my bones are totally crushed. But don't worry about me. No, sir. I'm going to be totally fine. I hope I'm not being rude, but I'm just going to take a little nap. That is that is Krillin in a nutshell right there, dude. Um, the man got obliterated by a bus. At that point in Dragon Ball Z, you can't get obliterated by a bus, dude. But my guy's been left so far behind that he's getting taken out by public transportation. And
Yeah, he's getting taken over here by freaking Caltrans or whatever
yeah,
the hell the Samtrans.
Sam Trans, dude. Uh, and so I was reading another thing that said, like, in Dragon Ball Z, obviously he starts his family and whatnot. He even lets his hair grow. But in Dragon Ball Super, he goes back to his warrior ways.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, that train's long gone, bro. Like Krillin cannot even think about catching up. Like, dog, you got it. There's a reason.
He's like, I'm gonna pick up this train right
all
at
right, I
Super.
think I'm gonna come
Or
back.
they're gonna
Hey,
go back.
Goku. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. Like, bro, this man Goku's turning Ultra Instinct, and Krillin's just here, and that's why they took that man to the Tournament of Power. And refresh my memory because this is 2017. But I mean, he was just on the sidelines.
I think it was either he was eliminated first or he was
actually
the second
he was.
one. But
I think yeah,
because
because
he was in the front. He was at the front of the elimination, and it was an embarrassing. It was an embarrassment.
Yeah, unsurprising.
You know, it was an embarrassment to have that man represent us out there.
Right.
Because I think at the core of it, because I think at the core of this problem that we are dealing with Krillin is the fact that we want to like him. Well, I'll speak for myself. I want to like him because he is our representative.
Right.
He is our representative as a human being. You know, he's the strongest human, and we want him to do better. I want him to do better. You know, in this, or at least some train, like, you know, some train montages. At this point, Android 18 is
stronger than him, way stronger than him.
Much stronger than him, you know, and that's not a knock on her, but it's like, come on, dude. Bro, you've been training since you were little, dog.
Right.
Like, since you were in Dragon Ball, you were in the OG show. Like
he was Goku's rival in Dragon Ball until you know,
dude. Like you got roots in this thing, dude.
Exactly.
Like,
where's
this
the
man's
pride?
like stopped watering the roots, you know. Now he's just chilling there. He's not even watering. He's not even training. He's not doing nothing. So I'm like, this guy's a cop now.
But that's true. And I think that
now
he's coming. And there's a scene in Dragon Ball where Goku, you know, comes back. Like he leaves, right, for a few years, and when he leaves, he was a kid. He was very small, and he comes back. And when he comes back, and I if I'm not mistaken, they see him at one of the tournaments. And everyone's impressed because he's grown now. He's a much bigger Goku. And my boy Krillin, this is when he realized something's not right, because he was still the same height. He was still, that picture I showed you, he was still that same version. Like, that was him right there. And he saw Goku like, whoa. And everyone was, you know, impressed with Goku's physical transformation. And that's when Krillin started to see like paths start to diverge. And ever since then, he had to just pick up, like, he's the equivalent from that point onward up until Namek. He was the guy on the team that tries really hard but has not much skill, you know. Got some skill, but he was just the guy that's going to give 100% effort. And you know, when you're that
like
guy,
the coaches love, right? It's like
and when you're
that guy, right?
When you're that guy, like, it's great that you give 100% effort. Trust me, it is great. But subliminally, you know that they're also telling you, like, bro, unfortunately, like, you're not that dude. Like, the skill's just not there. And in like the Namek saga, especially, even though I do think that's his peak, it's his peak because of, like you said, he was that sacrificial lamb and he proved his value. But I mean, Gohan was like the main dude up, like, when they show up to Namek and it's Krillin and Gohan looking for the Dragon Balls with Dende, and they're kind of going around Namek. Gohan's the guy. And even when they get their power awakened by the shoot, I forget his name. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Like, he hears it right there. They say, oh man, they awakened Krillin's power, and they're like, oh, you know, not much to be awakened here. And then they awaken Gohan, and they're like,
not
oh,
much to be awakened here.
Yeah, and they're like, oh,
oh, we're done.
Yeah,
we've reached peak levels.
Yeah, dude, you peaked, bro. And so there were always the signs, the writing was on the wall. Like my boy was just he was getting played, and it was maybe it's just he's a human and he can only grow so much. But part of me refuses to believe that because he has so many skills in his arsenal that he doesn't use, and like I
Name
think
them
he
off, dude. I
huh
think the people forget. Name
yeah
them
okay
off, dog, because
he
the
he's
people
def
forget.
he's got the solar flare. I mean, that's a devastating one right there.
I
Okay,
mean,
I
that's a
mean,
beast. Mm-hmm.
Tien, that was Tien's go-to move besides the tri-beam triangle, or what I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm. The triangle beam.
Yeah. Uh he's got the solar flare and he's got the Kamehameha, which is like Goku's signature move besides the spirit bomb. And
Mm-hmm.
then he's got the Destructo disc, which is arguably like the most unique, and if used properly, it could be like one of the most devastating attacks there is. And the man is a monk. Like just being a monk has to give you some type of elevated skill. So he's got tools to work with. Like he has a bag. It's not as if this man doesn't have anything. He's not Yamcha. Yamcha, they look at the Wolfgang fist and they're like, bro, get out of here. Right? Like he's
Go play baseball, dog.
yeah, bro.
And
Go
that's it,
play
dude. Like,
baseball, dude. There's that clip. There's that clip where Vegeta and Bulma are talking about Goku and I mean not Vegeta. Bulma and Chi-Chi are talking about Goku and Vegeta, and Yamcha in front of everyone, he's like, "Hey, ladies, I'm free," or something like that. And then they say something like, "Oh, we're talking about an actual." I don't know. They say something. They clown on Yamcha, and everyone starts laughing, and Yamcha starts laughing as well because he knows like he's now at the bottom of the barrel. Krillin's not there yet. Krillin is still
he's
respectable,
not.
right?
Mm-hmm.
He still has a lot of redeemable qualities, but like, how do we make him an asset, right? Without understanding that like he obviously can't be on the level of a Goku or Vegeta, especially if they're even I mean, I don't know, even Gohan, I would say, right? Like he can't be on that level, but he can still bring value. It's like you said, does he become that dude that can help people transcend to the next level? He finds his worth there, the way Bulma does. It's tough. My boy's in a tough spot.
He is. I mean, because even the moves, even the stuff that you're saying that like are cool about him, even in this like current state of where the anime is, I don't even think that would it suffices. Like
Right.
the only thing that I can think of that would be helpful would be the monk stuff, the monk story.
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of like reincarnation, some sort of like
Right.
meditation type of like aspect to the anime where it would need to take a much more in my opinion it would have to take a more serious tone, if you were to
Mm-hmm.
include a story like that, especially with the stuff that's going on with monks now. Like I think it's something that I mean, he's a representative, and I think that at the core of it, if they were to incorporate him as an actual character, because I think that is what bugs me about his depiction as the movies progressed and as where we are now is that he is just kind of like a mockery of like
Mm-hmm.
himself or of humans or
Yeah.
uh
He's
and
just a
he
joke,
doesn't
dude. Like
really.
he's there to
Yeah,
just
he's just
be.
a joke.
Yeah.
And so there's I think there's two ways for them to do it, right? It's like, at least for me, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
in how you would be able to salvage his character. It's either you just embrace the joke and he's just a joke guy now, and we stop playing around and we stop giving the man the gi.
Right. Yeah.
We
He
stop
got. He got.
inviting him to the tournament of power.
Right.
We stop that, and we're realistic. We're not gonna allow this man to go to the tournament of power anymore.
Right.
We're not gonna allow him
No
to even
business
to
being there.
no business being there. If anything, he gets to go watch, and that's as
Yeah.
far. We're gonna let Android 18 take his spot,
Yeah. I
and,
mean, that's
and that's
yeah.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. He can be the dad that's just watching the show, and that's cool. I think they could go that way, or they go the other way, where I think they could go a little bit more serious, and they kind of flip it on him so that he's not just a joke, but he has a more layered uh character.
Like playing on
Because
that
as of
monk piece.
playing on that monk piece, I would be interested to see like how would they incorporate that with
Mhm.
the different characters. Like, can that be something to teach Goku? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know he meditates and stuff, but
Mhm.
can he meditate like a monk? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And like, and maybe that leads to another level. And just to play on his like human, just his very human
Characteristics, right?
traits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
because the Saiyans are not at that level. They can't sometimes understand those levels
Right.
that maybe it can. So how does Krillin transmit that? But we're at a god level, right? So we're at a god place
It's
where,
like catching up is so hard, or
yeah, catching up is so hard
it's
for
out of the
him.
equation now, right? Like power wise, he can't, but like you said, he could bring his value in other ways.
Yeah, because I don't know if teaching somebody the destructo disc or anything is going to help anybody. Against
They're gonna
Jiren
laugh
or
at you.
against.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
gonna laugh at you if you bring out the destructo disc in the battlefield, and it's sad because it's a cool move.
It is a
Unless
cool
you
move.
teach it to unless another possible thing that I could think about for him is like, if he becomes like, and he goes back to the training, you know what I'm saying? Go water that root.
Mhm.
Maybe he starts his own dojo. We put Goten and Trunks, give them something to do. You know what
That
I'm
would be
saying?
cool.
And he's teaching them stuff, and he has his own turtle tower, like turtle school of
Mhm.
fighters. You know what I'm saying? And he's teaching these kids, and he's teaching them Kamehamehas, and he's teaching them the Destructo Disc, and he's kind of he slowly but surely begins to become like a Master Roshi type of character. And
He's
maybe
like
they
an
kill off Master Roshi, but I don't know.
inside. He's
I'm
like an
not I'm not all about the perp stuff, so I'm cool getting him out of here.
well, as far as like Krillin and taking that role on, he would be like the equivalent of a youth soccer coach, like youth level, where you're grooming them, like you're showing them a lot of valuable techniques, and these are techniques that they will take on and they will improve on them as time goes on. Um,
Yeah.
and because I feel like right now my boy is in a tough spot. He's if you guys have seen like um uh, like that R. Kelly meme where he's like, I'm fighting for my bleeping life, right? Like that is Krillin right now, right? Like that's Krillin right now, and he's hanging on the ledge, and he obviously he's a good cheerleader, but it's like it's it's like he's just a mockery now, and there are other ways I'd like to see them, kind of shape his character and bring a little more value. It's like I don't want them to do this with every character. Like I don't want because you can only do it with so many characters. I don't, Yamcha's he's too far gone.
Yeah,
Like
he's too far gone. Out
right,
of here.
like that's not
Ian,
someone.
out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Chatsu, out of here.
Gone. Even like you
Master
said,
Roshi, out of
Roshi
here.
can be gone.
Yeah, I'm waiting till they kill that man, so we don't never hear him do his perp stuff again.
Well, and I think I would be interested in seeing how they would handle that. And I say that like as far as Master Roshi's death, because I would like to see how that would impact Goku, just because he did teach Goku a lot when Goku was a kid. I'd be interested in seeing that. And I felt like they kind of played on it a little bit in Super, but of course,
Mhm.
like no, there it was like Super was inconsequential. Um, but like not every character can have a pivotal role, obviously, because then the
For
roster
sure.
would just be way too large. But Krillin is a character that I feel is redeemable. Like people, I think he's got a backing behind him. Now,
Yeah, dude. I think there's people. I mean, there's people. Got Krillin it. You know what I'm saying? There's a
right?
You have a
Yeah.
Krillin it out here. There's
So
also there's a cool podcast name, and shout out to them. I don't really hear them, but maybe our listeners want like it's called the Destructo. I mean, the
right.
Destructo discussion. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool
Okay, that's
name,
a
and
great
you know what I'm saying,
name.
and it's a cool wordplay
Mm-hmm.
with that man's move, and
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
he's a beloved character that I think he deserves at least an arc. You
So
know, at
maybe
least.
I'll have to retract my statement that said if Krillin died, no one would care about him. Or if he was, just banished or into the if he vanished into like the shadow realm, like no one would care about him. I mean, no, I mean Krillin is a character that people care for.
It's just he's just not at that. He's just not at that stage where we've invested so much in him. We
Mhm.
like him, but we haven't invested so much in him. I think as someone like Piccolo, or I would even say Master Roshi, that if they were to
Or
die,
Gohan, yeah.
or Gohan, but I'm just gonna stick with because Gohan is an integral part. They have to
Hmm.
figure out how to make him an integral part. I'm talking about
Right.
Piccolo and Master Roshi, and
Side-ish characters, right.
possibly even Bulma, right? Like if those three, if you were to develop a story around them and around their death, I think it would be an epic moment in the anime that would
Mhm.
allow for a deeper progression in something, right? Either it
Right.
be for Piccolo for Gohan, or Master Roshi for Goku, or Bulma for Vegeta. They would all, I think, if they died or they had some sort of like epic like fall, there would be a consequence that would lead to one of the protagonists to do something big.
Drastic, right? Yeah.
Krillin, in the other hand, what what I think is in his favor is the fact that he's not so attached to Goku or to Gohan or to Vegeta. He's really linked to everybody. He's liked
Mhm.
by everybody,
Right.
right? So that's why if he were to die, I don't know if that would have the same impact. You know, it would. I think you would have to. To me, I don't think dying would benefit him. I think if anything, it would just be a sad. It would be a sad piece that they
Right.
didn't do anything with him. But if
Hmm.
they were to, if they were to build it up, I think eventually he can get to that point.
Exactly. Like it would be cool if him and 18 somehow teamed up and became some type of like power fighting couple, right? Or something like that. Obviously 18 stronger than him, but if because I don't see in the anime, I don't see any other couple like that where the husband and wife or the guy and the girl fight together. Well, Gohan and Videl, but even they've
Yeah,
strayed
I'm about
away
to say
from
same.
that. Um,
Mhm.
like I think that would be kind of cool. It would be like I was thinking as you were speaking about if he died, I think he would have a big impact on 18 for sure. Um, but then it would be like for the most part, I think like you said, it would be more like oh, what it was unfortunate the way he unraveled all the way up until this point and he died. And then people would move on. It'd just be like, oh
Hmm.
man, and then they'd move on. Where like if like when Vegeta sacrificed himself, and I referenced that in the last episode, but it was like I mean, there were people that were pissed, but it was
Mhm.
epic nonetheless. It was very polarizing and it was memorable, and it was one of those things that had he obviously stayed dead, it would have been a moment that immortalized him. It still did in a way, but it was so epic. It's ingrained in people's memories that have watched the show. So he wouldn't have that effect, obviously. Like if he tried pulling off that same speech, people would be like, "All right, bro, like go on. This is not about to do anything. This is about to do no damage." Like it's all good. And that's the thing. Like
I
if
can
you,
only imagine what that speech would sound like.
yeah, exactly,
You
dude.
know.
Like it would be the complete opposite of what Vegeta's was. I mean, I'm recalling back to Krillin's biggest moments in the
Films?
series, even after post Namek, right? Like, and the one thing that sticks out in my mind is when Vegeta's about to unleash that final flash on Cell, which is an epic scene. And then Trunks is like trying to tell it, he's yelling at Vegeta to stop because he's gonna blow up the whole world or whatever. He's gonna do a bunch of damage, and you just hear Krillin say, "Trunks, run!" And I'm like, "Oh my god, that is what this man has come to." And you know, I mean, but you know what? Like, hopefully they can. they can do my boy some justice because, like you said, he's a cool character, man. He's a charming character. He's been there since the beginning. He's a day one. Uh, and it'd be cool to see them, work. It'd be cool to see them kind of reconstruct his character. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna ask you the question you've been asking me, which has been is he redeemable? Is he redeemable in your eyes?
So this one, I think it's worse than like Piccolo or Gohan, because with Gohan, I think he's redeemable because at his core, he still has insane power that hasn't been harnessed, and it hasn't been cultivated enough, but it's still there. Like, he was born with that latent power. And Piccolo, a little bit of the same, but on a smaller scale. With Krillin, it feels like if he came out tomorrow and he was super strong on the same level of like a Vegeta or a Goku, no one would buy it. They'd be like, nah, this is not real. Is he redeemable? Like I said, I referenced that R. Kelly meme. I think he's at that point, right? Like where, and I have to say yes, because he's obviously, like I said earlier, he was my favorite character when I started watching. But the reason why I think he's redeemable is because not every character has to be a Goku or a Vegeta, super strong character. They can all bring value in different ways, and I think he can bring value. We obviously outlined it in throughout this episode, whether it's teaching the youth, whether it's somehow integrating his monk self, whether it's helping 18 in a way. And if he's got to be the sacrificial lamb, then that would be like that's like the eject button on a jet. Like, that's the last resort.
That's the last resort. We need to do the Namek story again. We need to relive that again.
Exactly.
And I would hate for that to happen. That they would hit the red button. Because they're like, we don't know what else to do.
Yeah, get him off. So I have to say he is redeemable, but just like, I don't think it is no longer through the warrior way. Like, it is no longer through him contributing to the fights directly, like him actually going up and taking on the henchman. He's getting obliterated on sight, right? Where like he's gonna have to bring value elsewhere. I mean, I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, of course I think he's redeemable, but I think you're right. I think that his hole is much deeper than Piccolo's.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big Piccolo fan. This is my guy. So,
right.
And I know his hole is pretty deep, in terms of like where the hell he's at in the anime. And I think that Krillin's even deeper in there. So it's a hard thing for them to like turn around, because everybody, like you said, is everybody's just left the man in the dust. Saying? Like, everybody has just left him power level wise. The man just can't compete. Exactly. He's just not there anymore. So the question is, we want him around. What else can we do with him? And it doesn't have to be fighting, how you're saying. It doesn't have to be that, because, yeah, dude, nobody wants to see Krillin go in there and just getting one shot.
Destroyed by the rubble. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, but you see, the rubble, like, that was the writing on the wall.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was them telling us, this is it right here for exactly. Krillin. You know what I'm saying? That was the first movie, dude. That was the first movie that they laid it out for us in that movie. This is what this man's nemesis is going to be.
Exactly. This is what his future awaits.
And
like, look at my guy.
Yeah, dude, look at him, dude.
Look at him.
But to me, I don't know how much more they can pound him into the ground.
Right.
So hopefully they get the end of the line so that they can start building him back up again, because they keep just pulverizing this man. They're like gonna just makes you think of the Phoenix, rising from the ash. Hopefully he
rises from the ash.
You know, hopefully he can rise out of it. I don't know if we've gotten to the point where he's Ash. You know, I don't know. That's the beef that I got with it, is that I don't know how much more we can give to this guy of just beating him down. You know, how many more times do we have to see him get eliminated first? How
Right, dude.
many more times are we gonna have to see him get destroyed first?
I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying? Like,
come on, dude. The way he won in the BoJack movie in the tournament when he was meant to fight Piccolo. Come
yeah,
on, dude.
dude. Come on,
Piccolo
dog.
just flew off, and Krillin
I
was
forgot
scared.
about that.
I
Well,
mean,
yeah, Piccolo was just like, you're
this
not like, this is not even worth my time anymore. So I'm just gonna
exactly.
get out here.
And
And he gave him the win.
Krillin was proud. I'm like, dude, you can't be proud of that, right? That right there speaks to the levels Krillin is, or where Krillin is at, and you
They're
know,
giving him wins, dog. They're giving him
yeah,
W's.
they just because they don't know like what the hell to do anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, Krillin, you know, he's that character that like a lot of people love. But he's like I don't know. I don't know what to compare him to, but he's just kind of like that. Like he brings a smile to your face every now and then. He's like, you know, he's cool. He has some charm, but
everybody likes him, you know.
yeah,
Everybody wants to have him
exactly.
around 'cause he's a fun dude, funny guy.
Funny guy, but they know like I said, dude, like all right, he's there. He's there because he's in the squad because Goku's his boy. And that's it. Like if he didn't know Goku, he wouldn't be in the squad. It's like the coach's son. You know, it's like you're there because you're the coach's son, bro. And yeah, and I hope they do something with Krillin's character because he is a cool character. I like him a lot.
He deserves a turn, dog. At least somewhat of a turn, dog. Like they
Yeah,
need to give that man something more, like, something more substantial to do, dude.
yeah,
Like it's just
exactly.
not. We can't just keep seeing him be a cop. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it's just, and even then, it's just like, what are we looking at right now, dude?
it
Like
just
he looks
feels
like a meter maid.
it feels so minuscule, like
Yeah.
him being that because like, dude, you can leave a bigger imprint in the series, not on
No,
the
you can
scale of
fly.
Goku or Vegeta. Exactly, bro. Like, if you can fly, you gotta already be separating yourself from regular society. Like, you have
Yeah,
a
dog.
much
What are you
higher
talking about?
calling if you can fly, bro. If you could do the distro, but anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, right, dude? Because I think
Yeah.
we're about there. We've exhausted our Krillin conversation, and you know, it was fun though. You know, Krillin character we've grown to love. Hopefully they can, you know, revamp his character a little bit. But yeah, we'll go ahead and sign off. You know, if you listen to us, we appreciate your listenership. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, feel free to hit the like and subscribe. You can listen to us on all the podcast platforms. Our social medias will be down in the description. And yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and sign off. All right.
Yep.
All right. Until next week, stay safe.